Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So, how's everyone feeling today?
Exciting.
Do you have your lunch?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so before I get started, I have some questions. Anyone here working on machine learning right now? Raise your hands. Okay. So if you are already working in, let's say, sentiment analysis, this is going to be a little bit of like beginner level for you. But the trick is, I change it into such a way that it will blow your mind. But I cannot show you the code because I don't have that with me. I'll try my best to go through what I mean by that. Okay? So, just a disclaimer here, this is not the one way to do it. You can do a lot of other ways with Google Cloud to create sentiment analysis, right? So don't take this as one true way to do things. I just did it because it's fun to do. It might not even be a recommended approach. So let me just tell you why in a few slides. Okay, sentiment analysis, what it is. Anyone want to volunteer and talk about what sentiment analysis is? Oh yeah, there's someone. I have some chocolate with me, but later I'll give it to him.
Why?
I think sentiment analysis is decide what the sentiment will be object we will decide into. Whether it is optimistic or neutral or
positive. Yeah, that's exactly right. Thank you so much. Okay, later you get a chocolate from me. I have it in my bag. So that's exactly it. So what we're trying to do here is just to figure out from a text, right? Sentence, be a body of text. You're trying to determine what's the total, the sanitation. Is it positive, neutral, negative, right? So example are like this, and we have this sentiments, or we have these sentences where this is really great, right? I can't wait for the next one. I hope you all feel this like positive value for today's events, and hope to see you guys the next time we do it. And of course, if you are neutral, then you will say things like it's okay, I guess. Right? I can't complain much because this is free after all, things like that. But if you are in the negative spectrum, you will say like, oh, this sucks. I hope to get more out of this. Literally the worst things happen to me, kind of thing. So this is like very general, but there are a lot of spectrum, right? There might be, here mentioned that being optimistic is also a positive tone, right? Being depressed is a negative tone. So there's a lot of other emotions and the sentiments you can extract from, not just these three. So why is it important, right? One thing is you need to understand your voice of your customer, right? So if you do online shopping, the first thing you do before you decide to buy is to read their reviews. So whether the review is good, whether they are saying the same sentiments as you would like to experience their experience when you purchase the thing. That's why you read the review. So if you are a business owner or a person that was selling the items, you will want to know about how my product is doing from the others' customers. If my customers are giving me a lot of negative feedbacks, I have to improve my product so that people buy my stuff more. Something like that. So you have to know from a general perspective, not from, let's say, a group of friends or a set of customers. You have to know from everybody. That's why you do this sentiment analysis to figure out which direction you should take for your business. And of course, there's a lot more. You can do online classification. Anyone here trigger about Elon Musk taking over Twitter? No one uses Facebook. Everyone uses Facebook and not Twitter. So in like other part of the world, people are trying to put a lot of negative sentiments towards Twitter CEO now. That's why you can do a lot of analysis from the text data that they are writing. So when you write something, you can analyze it, see whether that is positive or negative. Okay, so there's some questions. I hope I bring the seats with me. But hello. Who thinks the first sentence is div? If positive, you can thumbs up. Negative, you can thumbs down.
Positive.
Positive? Okay. Second one. Positive?
Positive.
Alright. Third one.
Let down.
Negative? Positive? Alright. Fourth one?
Chắc là negative rồi.
Negative? Okay. How about fifth one? Negative also?
Negative.
Nice. Wow, you guys are better machine learning model than the model that we trained. So this is good. How about the sixth one? Is it neutral? Go down? Yeah. Okay. So this is really great because that's what models try to do, right? So you are trying to build artificial intelligence. To do artificial intelligence, you have to have intelligence first, right? If not, you cannot do artificial intelligence. So this is how our brain sort of read the sentence and try to determine is it positive or negative, right? You can read it and then you detect the words. So if you detect best, if you detect such a hit, if you detect let down, can't finish it. So if negative words, you register as negative, and positive words, you register as positive. It's as simple as that. Right? So scientists, like very long time ago, maybe 40, 50 years, they're trying to make it into a mathematical formula, or the way we understand things, right? So they try to come up with a formula that can calculate these kind of sentiments and give you a negative or positive score at the end. So from text into formula, then equation, then you have the results, right? So why 6 is actually a neutral? Because you have a mix of all the words, right? You have don't understand, you have hating, you have like, you have just fine. And so it's sort of like balanced out from each other. Then you have like not very distinct the results, or whether is it negative or positive. That's why you have a neutral. Okay, so the first ever sort of ways that we can calculate is by converting all the words into base words, right? So you have good, better, best, all become good. And then if you have any A and is B, remove those because they have no meanings to the sentiments that we're trying to analyze. And you also have things like negation words, not good, right? Not really. You convert them into their base form, which is bad. And also you have a list of positive words, you have a list of negative words into a dictionary, right? So once you have that, you just calculate how many of those words exist in the sentence. If the calculation is positive, consider positive, and negative, consider negative, right? So that's what we do in our head when we try to read the sentences. But not every sentence are the same. When you say it out, it means all different things, even though they are the same words, same sentence. Right? So there's some difficulty with determining just the words together with like the notation. So people start looking at machine learning. Right? So in this play, we have a lot of other things that we can do, things like data processing, feature engineering. We also train more, and then we also predict that using the model. Right? So one of the ways that we have to use is we have to convert our words into a mathematical formula, or mathematical form, numerical form, we call it, be it vector or be it matrices, before you train a machine learning model. Because machine learning models are in a way just mathematical formulas, so you have to convert all the words into vector. So this is the earliest approach that we tried. It's called battle words. So battle words is very simple. Let's say you have 3 sentences, right? You just split into words first. And you combine all this into one list where you have M together. Then you remove duplicates, right? So from the sentence, become a list of array. have like a whole list to remove the duplicates, like that, right? But there are some words which is very similar to each other, like learning and learn. You can either keep it or you can either remove it. So it's up to you. In this case, I'm going to just keep it. So now we have to do conversion from words to vector. Hello? Yeah. So how do we do this? Is by creating this matrix, then whatever you see from the left, you put 1 at the right. So if you see hello world, you put 1 at hello, 1 at walk, you put 1 at I, like, learn. After that, you fill everything else with 0. Then you will have a vector representative of all the sentences that you have. Right? In that way, we can convert the sentences into vector. Right? So once you have, how about there's new sentences coming in, say hello, hello world. Anyone want to give it a try? What's the vector equivalent of hello, hello world here?
Không, tôi nghĩ không được số 2 ấy.
I think there will be a 1 in the hello and 1 in the world.
Not exactly right. Sorry. Yeah. It's
Không
not the same as the first one. Because the first one is hello world, so you have like 1 in hello, 1 in world. But if you have 2 hello, what do you do?
We first remove the duplicate.
We remove the duplicate for the right side, not the left side. Right, so if I go back here, so we remove the duplicate for the vocabulary that we have, not from the sentence. So you don't see the new and things at the right side, but you will still have it on the left.
Thế vẫn có lặp ấy thôi.
So hello world is not the same as hello, right? Not the same as hello world. Maybe there's another person.
Mẹ ngồi học luôn đấy, sợ thật. Học luôn.
Hello is cool and
Đâu? Sao lại chu được?
Oh.
Đâu?
hello is cool and what is 1?
Yes, you're right. Were you working on machine learning?
Yes.
Yes, so he knows. Okay, so yeah, I will give you a chocolate regardless. I still have 4, I think. So why put 2 is, imagine that someone come and tell you, I like you, versus I really like you. Is there a difference? Right? So the sentiments, the more you have more words into it, it kind of sort of intensify your sentiments to a certain point, right? So that's why you put 2. So we call this counting words, called count vector. Right? So we do a vector by counting how many words in it. This is count vector, and if you are familiar with, let's say, scikit-learn, you have a counterizer function that you can use. Right? So now we are ready to train machine learning model, but are you going to ask questions?
Can you come back the previous example?
Yeah.
So I have a question. So if the fourth example, right? If I have 10 hellos, and what will be the output?
Yes. So what vectorizer will count 10?
So it means that the output may be wrong, perhaps.
Let's say you have hello 10 times a word, there will be 0, 10, 0, 0, 0, 1. So that's like a negative side, or rather the limitation of word vector. So people use this, right? Then like you realize there's a lot more repeated words. Then you start to count heavier because you have a lot of multiple words, right? And a lot of words sometimes, let's say you have 10,000 hello, it doesn't make sense, right? So how people do is by integrating this thing called 10 frequency invert document frequency. So this is like new step from here. So this is the base one. Then you try to see how important this particular words is for the documents or for the sentence, right? Even though you put a lot of words, it might not mean anything, Right? So they try to do that by implementing this thing called TF-IDF, and then they multiply with inverse document frequency. So that's like the next steps. So after that, if you're interested, after TF-IDF, they also try to do the pairing of the words called n-grams. So they have like bigram, trigrams, and all these other grams. So after the trigram and n-grams, they try to find the encoding space of each particular sentence or the words. They call it walk to vector. Right? So after walk to vector, we have like the attentions and we have all the embeddings and things like that. So far, making sense?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So this is like very basic one. Okay, so what's interesting and why am I talking about the basic one here is I didn't use Python to do this. I use SQL. So the entire thing is done in SQL. Anyone knows SQL here?
Biết rồi, anh biết dùng á. Ai mà biết.
Awesome. So I use SQL to do all these things without importing scikit-learn and stuff. Right? How I do this is by using this thing called BigQuery. It's a cloud product from Google Cloud that you can use to train machine learning models with SQL. You don't have to use Python or some other languages. If you don't know Python and you want to try machine learning, this is the entry one that you can try. Right? So how it does is split their computation and the storage into separate units. So if you're training the model, you don't have to pay for the data storage. You're just paying for the computation. Same thing for the storage, where you just store and you don't compute, you only pay for it. Right? Things that it does is use SQL compliant syntax, right? And you can also support for streaming, and you can also have a bulk loading. So you can do batch, you can do streaming, and you can have all the others connector like GDBC. Right? If you are familiar with like connector for SQL, you can also use all this as well. We also have a web UI. You can use web UI for running the queries. You don't have to create launch and say, let's say PHP admin to do all this thing, right? It also supports REST API, so you can just integrate seamlessly with your apps. You don't have to go through the trouble of your query. And this is how it looks like. Right? You just have like simple SQL syntax where you use select statement, where clauses, and this is distributed, so you can have petabyte of data processed within a minute. So it's very, very fast, and it's backed by a gigabyte, petabytes of network between the nodes. So the data transfer is really big. And so one of the things I like about this, or in this case relevant to our talks, is BigQuery ML. So BigQuery has these functions where you can train machine learning models using SQL syntax without packages and installing. Right. So how we do is, you can see from here, these are all the models that we are currently supporting, right? So if you are familiar with machine learning, you probably go through things like XGBoost, DNN. You can use all these models straight in the SQL statements. You don't have to import packages, you don't have to install stuff on your laptop today. So you can see the syntax from here. Creation is just create model, then you define the options, what kind of model you want, and then you just like label, and you just put the data in. That's how simple it is to create model using BigQuery. Right. If you want to try, you can take a picture of this, and you can go back home and take a look at my code. If you find any mistakes, feel free to send a pull request. I might give you something. Okay? So this is the workshop that I run, but because we don't have a workshop session here, so you can just take a look and then you can sort of ask questions or send pull requests to me. And I would like to say, this is pretty much the end, and if you are interested in doing more of, let's say, end-to-end machine learning, which I run this with online challenges as well, this is Fraud Finder workshop that we just created, so it's very fresh, very new. So we do end-to-end data to AI journey, from getting the data into the Google Cloud, training it, serving it, monitoring it, things like that. Right? And you can find it from this link. Okay, take a picture. And The thing is, we are also launching this program. It's called Cloud Innovator Program. It's free to sign up. You can scan this, you can sign up, and you can get a badge from the developer portal. So you have badges for DevFest, you have badges for participating things, you also get badges for being an innovator. Right? So just now, Nhi sort of talked to you about being a developer expert. We also have a similar program. It's called Developer Cloud Innovator Champion. So if you are a champion, you would like to contribute into your communities, talk about Google Cloud content, create video, write blog posts and things like that. You also can become a champion from this program. Right? So if you want to know more, you can talk to me later. I will be around here. Right? So if you want to connect, right? You want to ask questions, you want to keep me in the loop, you can also scan this and connect me on LinkedIn. Right? This is pretty much I have to say. So I'll just put it like that.
Tao lại gỡ rồi.
Okay. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you for I will be around if you want to ask questions. And I will get chocolate for the tweets. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thu Ya, can you come to the stage, back to the stage? Okay, because we have a gift want to send to you in the stage right now. And please welcome Mr. 𝗲𝗳 from GDG Cloud. Oh, sorry, 𝗵𝘂 from GDG Hanoi. Come to the stage and send this gift for Thu Ya right now. Thank you so much and hope to see you again in the next GDG DEVFEST. Thank you.
Chắc nó tầm tuổi mình em, cùng lắm hơn một tuổi. Bằng tuổi à? Ừ. Đây rồi, đây rồi.
Rất là nhiều.
Đây rồi.